All right, I think I'm up and running. Let me just make sure that my do not disturb is on. So one of the questions that I get a lot is, how do you know when you should move on from trying one idea and then like moving on to the next one? Like, and not having this feeling of I've given up too soon, or not having the feeling of thinking that you've put too much time in and you're wasting your time. So that's the question for the ages, right? Is how do you know when you should keep pushing, when you should keep going, or when should you just throw in the towel and move on to the next idea, right? It's something that I get a lot from people. And I want to kind of cover that in this video here. Hopefully it'll give you guys some insight. Hopefully it'll help you to not waste some time. If you don't know me, my name is Cohen. I've made millions and millions of dollars online. I've helped hundreds of thousands of people across the globe. Let's see if I can get this thing to sit up. Right now, I'm gonna eat some hot chocolate, some cookies before my wife and kids get home. So the question is, this top is a nightmare. How do you know when to give up on this business idea? You know, when people tell you to stay focused, when people tell you to not have shiny object syndrome, when people say that you should give things enough time. Who likes whipped cream? You guys like whipped cream? Oh my God, I got it all over the chair. This is one of my things here, whipped cream. I'm like a big kid when it comes to whipped cream. So here's my journey. So at 19, just before 20 or so, I started selling. I started selling like toys and comic books, and I wasn't selling these things online. I was selling them through print magazines. So I would go in and I would advertise some of the toys that I had, like the old G.I. Joes, the Marvel toys, some of the Migos superhero toys, and I would advertise these things in specialty publications. So there were a few specialty publications. One was called Toy Shop, which was a big paper. And then the other one was called Action Figure Digest. And then there was another one called, I forget what the other one was called. But anyway, I would go in and put ads in these publications. And the first time I tried it, the cost of an ad was $80. And I didn't really have $80, right? So it was a lot of money for me to go in and put in. I took a chance, put the $80 in, and then for that $80 ad, I ended up making like $400 or something. I went in, started advertising even more, eventually getting bigger ad sizes, bigger spaces. I went from the business card size, which was an eighth of a page, I think, at that time. Actually, no, it was a business card size. And then I went up to an eighth of a page. Then I went up to a quarter of a page, and then half a page. And before you know it, I was advertising an entire 4 pages of some of these publications, these magazines, and these newspapers. And that was the start of me having a business. That was the very first start. And then from there, I went on and had other businesses. I started a record label. We did okay with that thing. Never had any major success. And then started with online businesses, like starting an online business, digital publishing businesses. And one of the questions that I get from people all the time is, hey, Ty, like at what point, when I have an idea and I'm trying to move forward with this thing, if it's not working out, no one's buying from me, no one's liking my videos, no one's commenting, no one's engaging, no one's sharing. I'm spending money on advertising, I'm spending money and time putting these things together, and no one's biting. Like, when do I throw in the towel? When do I say enough is enough and I go on to the next thing? That could be a tough question, and here's the reason why. That is hot. It's tough because, oftentimes just before we're about to give up, that's when we have our breakthrough. And then the other thing is, so if you guys have not read the book, 3 Feet from Gold, I highly suggest that you get it. All right, 3 Feet from Gold. As a matter of fact, I want to show you what this book looks like. Give me a second. I'm gonna go down to my video room and show you. So maybe I have it in my office. Let's see. I don't have it in my office. But this is a good book. If you don't have this book, my book, you should definitely go get my book. Right, Kindle Publishing Secrets. The foreword is written by the amazing Les Brown. So hopefully you guys know who Les Brown is. You can actually get a copy of this book for free. I'll give you a copy of it. But I'm going to show you this book, 3 Feet from Gold. Because in this book, the author, Sharon Lechter, it was published by the Napoleon Hill Foundation. They talk about how most people have this idea for business. They're working the business. They're going in. And they're not seeing the success that they want. And what happens? They end up giving up. And they end up giving up right before they were going to strike gold. And hopefully that's not you, right? And the thing is, we'll never know if it's us, right? Like we give up and we never know if it's us. We never know when we're... But this is the book. So I highly recommend you guys go in and get this. Get it on audio. There's a lot that you'll get out of the audio. You can get it on... You can get the book version of it like I have here too. But this is a great book here. Right, so they talk about how we often will have these ideas and we're giving up on these ideas way too soon, right? And I have my own twist on that as well. I'm going to share with you in terms of how you'll know when you've given up or when you should give it just a little bit more time, all right? Because that could be one of the biggest life-changing aspects of being an entrepreneur. It's just knowing, listen, we only have so much time, right, on this earth. And if we put too much time into one thing, then we'll never know if we could have put time into something else that could have really popped off for us, that could have really worked out well for us, right? So the way you figure that out is, number one, being truly honest with yourself and saying, have I been 100% committed to this thing, this business idea? Have I truly given 100% of the effort that I needed to give into this thing? Right? When you ask yourself that question and you're honest with yourself, have I truly given 100% of the effort that's needed? And without making excuses, without saying, well, COVID hit, without saying, well, my wife didn't support me, without saying, well, my husband didn't support me, without saying, I didn't have money, without saying, I didn't have the best resources. And if you can genuinely ask yourself, did you give it 100% of the effort that was needed? And if that answer is yes, and it still has not panned out, then maybe it may be time for you to move on to something else and try something else. But if you can, if you really deep down in your heart, my oatmeal, my hot chocolate, my hot chocolate is getting a little bit cool. If you can deep down in your heart say, you know what, I don't think I've given it 100%. And I'll be honest with you, there's things that I've tried but I haven't given 100% of an effort to. Like, you only fail when you give up. Like, you only fail when you give up. You've only not made it once you've decided to give up. That's it. Like, you don't know if your breakthrough is going to be 3 weeks from now, 3 days from now, 3 months from now, 3 years from now. I remember when I was first getting started with Kindle publishing, I was just coming out of a music business. I had published some digital products, ebooks and courses that were music related. And I got tired of that space. I got tired of dealing with musicians and singers and songwriters. And that's good. If you don't like the chessman butter cookies, you're missing out. But I got tired of dealing in that space because I wanted to challenge myself more. And I wanted to be able to reach more people and impact the lives of more people. So when I went into Kindle Publishing, I remember listening to Tony Robbins, and it was the Unleash Your Power Within. I think I have that in my office or somewhere around here. And we'll listen to this over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. How many people have seen or heard Unleash the Power Within by Tony Robbins? It's an older set, but regardless of where you're at right now, I highly recommend that you listen to it. You try to find it somewhere. Go on YouTube, go on eBay, find it. It's a CD set, it's a collection. You probably can get a digital version of it right now. But I listened to this over and over and over and over again. And the thing that I kept hearing was, the most successful people in any area, what they do get right is they totally submerge themselves in the thing that they want to be successful in. They live, breathe, eat this thing. They go to sleep thinking about it. They wake up thinking about it. They totally submerge themselves in it. You're welcome, Denise. Right? And after thinking about this and having so many people, I've had hundreds of people ask me, hey, Ty, when do I know when it's time to give up? And unless you can say that you've truly, totally submerged yourself in the thing that you want to be successful in, you feel like you're living it, you're eating it, you're breathing it, you wake up thinking about it, you go to sleep thinking about it. Hell, you're dreaming it. When I first started building out my digital businesses and Kindle publishing businesses, that was it. Like, I would go to sleep dreaming about these things. I would have dreams about it. Every moment that I can get, I would be at a point where I would go in and put time into this thing. And as that, you become a master at this thing. And because you become a master at it, the fruits of your labor start to manifest and they start to show themselves. Zig Ziglar was famous for saying, if you help enough people get what they want, you can get anything that you want. You help enough people get what they want, you can get anything that you want, right? And that's where I was at. So before you give up on anything, just ask yourself the question, have I truly given it 100% the effort that I deserve to give it? And only you can answer that question. And if you have, and it's not showing the fruits, it's not manifesting what you want it to, then maybe it's time to give up. But don't fool yourself in answering this question. And if you haven't, then maybe it's time to keep pushing forward. All right, so hopefully this finds you well, guys. I'm going to go back to enjoying my hot chocolate and my chessman butternut cookies. Stay tuned because I plan on going live pretty often. Make sure that you're subscribed to this channel. Make sure that you're following. Make sure that you hit the bell notification so that whenever I do go live, you get notified. Right? So give 100%, totally submerge yourself, and give yourself some time. And if it's still not working, then you switch to something else. All right? We'll see you. Stay well.